What's up, guys? Coach David here today, and I want to talk to you a little bit about the experts, what they're telling you to do, and how you can do your own research. This applies to both trainers and coaches, as well as people that just want a little bit more information about the program that they're doing or the supplements that they're being told to take. So, when it comes to advice, you usually have two sources, right? I will tell you something based off of experience, off of my expertise, because I've done something over and over again and gotten results from that, which in and of itself is like doing an experiment and getting data from it, right? The other way is if there is an outside source that has done a lot of research, scientific studies and scientific evidence, and that outside source has given me something to look at where I could say, hey, you take this powder and there's enough research and evidence behind it to show that it will make you stronger or make you fitter, whatever it is. So those are really the two ways that when it comes to fitness anyways, you're either going to trust someone based off of their expertise and their experience, or because they have the research to back up what they're saying. And ideally, the perfect coach would have both. They would have a lot of experience and they do a lot of research on their own to give you the best possible product. So when it comes to the actual research, right? If you are someone that you're interested in this stuff, like you're interested in what does creatine do? Why is my coach telling me to take creatine or protein or this or that? You can go to PubMed or Google Scholar. Just type in creatine effects, what does creatine do to me? And you're gonna get a list of a whole bunch of different articles. The first thing that I look at when I do my own research is I'll look at how old is this article. So in general, you wanna try to find something, 5 years old at most. If there's nothing that has been done recently and it's something that's been around for a long time, you can use older articles, but I always say try to find the most up-to-date evidence, because think about it, we didn't even have iPhones 10 years ago. The camera I'm using right now did not exist on an iPhone 10 years ago. 20 years ago, we didn't have Google or anything like that, right? So we are constantly evolving, constantly learning, and the same thing goes with fitness and science and anything to do with nutrition. We're always finding out new things. They're always discovering new things. So you want to be on top of the game too. This applies also more to your trainers and coaches, because in my opinion, the best trainers and coaches will not just rely on something they learned 20 years ago, but are constantly keeping up with what's going on out there. So the next thing you want to look at, I'm not going to tell you to sit here and learn all the science terms. You don't need to do that. You can very quickly look at a research article and focus on these two things. And then the third thing will be a little bit more if you actually want to read through it. But first is who's doing the research. So try to find out who funded this research. So if I have an article about Gatorade being better than water, and Gatorade is paying and funding that research, come on. Obviously, they have an agenda and they're going to push it to you. And I guarantee you the conclusions are going to be Gatorade is better than water. Why? Because they're trying to sell you their product, and their BS research is proving that. The next thing you want to look at is how many people are in that study. So if there's 5 people and they're saying that based off of our research and this experiment, you can take this pill and get 20 pounds on your squat, but they only did it with 5 people, throw that out. Because you need to find research that has a big population, or else there's no way you can tell me that this, whatever process they did or whatever pill they took, that can apply to the whole population across the world if only 5 people got results. Or even in that group, 4 out of 5 got results. So you're already off to a bad start, right? I like to find research that has, 100 people, 200 people, if possible, 1,000 people, and then look at the time. Did they do this for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 months? That's something I'll talk about in a second, but the longer period of time that they did this over, the better. Because then you're telling me that this wasn't just a stroke of luck, it's proven over time, and it's proven with a lot of people. Third thing is, this is where it gets a little tricky, but you want to see how they're doing their experimentation, and are they skipping over the protocol and just spitting out a result to you, right? So if I have two groups, one group is doing like heavy lifting, one group is doing light lifting, and they're all taking a pill, and at the end I'm like, yeah, this pill proved to get 20 pounds on your squat, 8 out of 10 people got it. But then you look at the groups, the 8 people were in the heavy group, the 2 people were in the light group. So obviously there's no way it was the pill. It's probably because they were lifting heavy. So a lot of people like to just take out sentences out of context, or results out of context in this case. And they're trying so hard to prove a point that they'll use anything to get there. Be careful. Try and look at everything that went on and see if you're confident enough in that research to say that yes, the only thing that made the difference was this pill. Nothing else could have contributed to it. Which gets tricky, but you want to look at how many times a week are they working out, if they're trying to prove something in terms of fitness. Are they eating anything different? Are they sleeping differently? Is anything else going on that could confound that the pill is the answer, right? So that's it. Like I said, you don't have to understand all the science, all the tests that they do, all of the terminology. Just really look at those 2 things up front. Amount of people. I'll also throw in length of time and where's the research coming from. And then if you want to do a little more digging, try to see what process they used, and can you really draw the same conclusions that they did, or are they just trying to prove a point, right? So honestly, this should be up to your coach, but if you're working out on your own, or like I said, if you want to fact check your coach, right? Do this. Go to those links. Try to find a few articles that are in a recent time, and see if you could kind of tell what's going on with that supplement you're taking. So that's about it. I'll see you next time. I'm gonna start getting more into videos about, protein powder. Should you take it or shouldn't you? This vitamin, this supplement. Because I like to it helps me to grow as a coach, and it's gonna help you to get more of that information in a digestible way where I kind of make it simple and to the point to understand, because I get that too. A lot of science articles are super long and have a ton of terminology that you're not going to get, and it can be frustrating. So I'm going to try to help you with that process. All right, but I'll see you next time. Take care.